Okay, so what does it actually mean to live expecting something, really waiting for something big? And how does faith, like deep faith, turn into being ready day to day, being responsible? That's what we're getting into today in this deep dive. We're going to explore these ideas: faith, being watchful, trust, and stewardship, how they all kind of weave together. And the sources we're drawing from are pretty fascinating. We've got ancient wisdom, Psalms talking about knowing things beforehand, salvation, then the Gospels with some really urgent stories, and even the modern reflection, tying it all together. As always, we're just looking at what these texts say, the ideas inside them, not really endorsing one view, but understanding the message itself. Right, so our mission here is to pull out those nuggets of wisdom, maybe some surprising insights about living prepared, but not from fear, right? More like from a place of trust, real purpose. So to really get this, let's start with this foundational idea, this definition of faith. This says faith is the realization of what is hoped for and evidence of things not seen. That sounds pretty active, doesn't it? Not just believing something passively.
Oh, absolutely. It's a great place to start because that realization, that evidence, it's not just thinking, yeah, maybe. It suggests something transformative. It's like the unseen thing becomes so real to you in your heart and mind that it actually changes how you act now.
It becomes a kind of certainty.
Exactly. A certainty that shapes your courage, your choices. It basically pushes you to live like the promise is already a reality.
And we definitely see that kind of active faith in some ancient figures. Take Passover, for instance. Our source says that night was known beforehand to them. They had this sure knowledge of the oaths they believed in, and that gave them courage. They were actually awaiting the salvation of the just and the destruction of their foes. I mean, that's a really clear expectation, a solid understanding of what they believed God would do.
It's a powerful picture, isn't it? Anticipatory knowledge, not just wishful thinking, but this deep assurance that let them face something terrifying because they felt they knew what was ultimately coming.
Like a blueprint for how future certainty empowers you right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's Abraham. I mean, talk about a figure of faith. His whole life seems to be about living based on unseen evidence.
Right.
The text says, by faith, Abraham obeyed when he was called. He went out, not knowing where he was to go. Just think about that. Packing up and leaving without a map, just based on trust.
That level of uncertainty is huge. And even when he got there, right? He lived like a foreigner, dwelling in tents.
Yeah, she didn't really settle.
Because deep down, he was looking forward to the city with foundations, whose architect and maker is God. His whole life was shaped by that future vision, not his immediate surroundings. Earthly permanence wasn't the goal.
It's a mindset that just isn't limited by what's right in front of you. And then there's the promise he received.
Miraculous part.
Exactly. By faith, he received power to generate, even though he and Sarah were way past the age for it.
Why?
For he thought that the one who'd made the promise was trustworthy.
And look at the outcome.
Unbelievable. Descendants as numerous as the stars, as countless as the sands. All from that trust in the promise maker.
But what's really striking, I think, is that these figures, Abraham included, all these died in faith. They didn't actually get everything that was promised in their lifetime.
They saw it from afar.
Yet they saw it from afar, greeted it, and lived their whole lives as strangers and aliens on earth, always seeking that better homeland, a heavenly one. Their faith was so profound that even without seeing it all happen, they lived by the promise. That's commitment to the unseen.
And the ultimate test, of course, offering Isaac. Being willing to do that because he reasoned that God was able to raise even from the dead.
Believing in resurrection power, essentially, and receiving Isaac back becomes a symbol of that.
So if you connect all these dots, Passover, Abraham, what's the pattern here?
Well, it seems to establish this consistent theme, doesn't it? Trusting in promises you can't yet see, sticking it out through uncertainty, and living with this constant anticipation of a greater divine future. Their faith wasn't just a belief system, it was the engine driving them forward, letting them act on things they hadn't fully received yet.
Okay, so that's the historical foundation, this act of faith. But how does this translate to us? Now, let's shift to the Gospel of Luke, where Jesus makes a really direct challenge. It moves from faith as history to faith as an urgent, now thing. And interestingly, he starts not with a threat, but with reassurance. Do not be afraid any longer, little flock, for your Father is pleased to give you the kingdom.
That really sets the tone, doesn't it? It frames everything that follows. It's not about waiting in fear, but expecting a gift.
Right. It changes the whole emotional landscape.
Yeah.
Vigilance comes from hope, not dread.
Yeah, a crucial anchor.
And then he gets practical, really practical. Sell your belongings and give alms. which, just means give charitably.
Right.
Provide money bags for yourselves that do not wear out, an inexhaustible treasure in heaven. For where your treasure is, there also will your heart be. So it's about immediate, tangible actions, things that show where your real values lie.
Shifting your portfolio, essentially, from earthly to heavenly.
Exactly. Okay, so after priorities, Jesus gives this incredibly vivid image of readiness. He says, gird your loins and light your lamps.
Which would have meant something very specific back then.
Yeah, gird your loins, pulling up your robes, tucking them in your belt, ready to move fast, action ready.
Yeah.
And the lit lamps, staying awake, alert.
A physical posture reflecting an inner state. Physically ready, spiritually ready, intellectually aware, not being caught sleeping, basically.
And be like servants who await their master's return from a wedding, ready to open immediately when he comes and knocks, just waiting by the door.
Poised.
And then comes the reward, which is, well, it's stunning. The master comes, finds them ready, and he will gird himself.
It's on the apron.
Right, puts on the apron, has them sit down, and proceed to wait on them.
It's a total reversal. The master serving the servants, it blows up all the usual ideas about hierarchy and reward.
It really does. What kind of reward is that? It's a relational, intimate honor.
It speaks volumes about the nature of the kingdom he's talking about. It's not just about getting stuff. It's about this deep connection.
And he stresses the timing is completely unknown. Should he come in the second or third watch? Middle of the night, maybe towards dawn. Blessed are those servants.
Anytime.
And he uses that thief analogy. If the master of the house had known the hour when the thief was coming, he would not have let his house be broken into.
You'd be ready if you knew.
Exactly. You also must be prepared, for at an hour you do not expect, the Son of Man will come.
So the point isn't trying to guess the date on the calendar. It's not about prediction at all.
No.
It's about maintaining this constant state of readiness through how you actually live each day, a lifestyle of ready expectation, not like waiting for some alarm bell.
And that's echoed really concisely in that Alleluia verse from Matthew. Stay awake and be ready, for you do not know on what day your Lord will come.
Stay awake, be ready, simple but demanding.
It does sound demanding.
Yeah.
I mean, is it realistic for people to constantly be in that state of ready expectation? Or are there times faith feels more like just hanging on, waiting for things to become clear?
That's a really fair point. And I don't think the text suggests living in like a state of high alert, constant anxiety. It's more about, are your life and your values aligned? So that whenever the moment comes, whether it's a big event or just a daily challenge, you're not caught completely off guard, realizing your priorities were all wrong.
Ah, okay. So it's about living purposefully now.
Yes. So the future, whenever it arrives, doesn't find you totally unprepared internally.
Got it. Which actually leads perfectly into Peter's question in Luke. After hearing all this, he asks, Lord, is this parable meant for us or for everyone?
Such a human question. Is this special advice just for the inner circle, or does it apply broadly?
Yeah, are we the ones who really need to pay attention?
And Jesus' answer kind of pivots, doesn't it? It shifts the focus from just being ready to being responsible for what you've actually been given.
Right. Stewardship. He replies with another parable, the one about the faithful and prudent steward, who then is the faithful and prudent steward whom the master will put in charge to distribute the food allowance at the proper time.
Yeah.
You get taken care of business. Blessed is that servant whom his master on arrival finds doing so. And the reward. Big promotion. The master will put the servant in charge of all his property.
It really highlights that principle. Faithfulness in small things leads to greater responsibility. Prove you're trustworthy with what you have now.
But then there's the flip side. The unfaithful steward. The one who says, my master is delayed in coming.
He thinks he has plenty of time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what does he do? He begins to beat the manservants and the maidservants to eat and drink and get drunk, basically abuses his position.
Yeah.
And the consequence, that servant's master will come on an unexpected day and will punish the servant severely. It's not just about being unprepared. It's about actively misusing the responsibility because you think the deadline is far off.
That's a critical distinction. His problem isn't just laziness, it's actively doing wrong, fueled by the assumption he won't be held accountable anytime soon. It's a warning against presumption.
And then there's that part about different levels of accountability. It's quite specific.
Right. The servant who knew the master's will but ignored it gets punished severely.
But the servant who didn't know the will but still mess up shall be beaten only lightly.
It suggests awareness brings a higher degree of responsibility. Knowing better means you're held more accountable.
Which really brings it home, doesn't it? This raises that crucial question.
For you listening right now, what has been entrusted to you? This whole section really drives home that the call isn't to be, frozen by fear about the timing. It's about being a faithful steward.
Yeah.
Using, whatever you've been given, resources, time, talents, relationships. It's an active, responsible way of being, not just passively waiting around.
Active being versus passive wait. I like that, because we do tend to fall into passive waiting sometimes, right? Expecting things to just happen to us. So how do we cultivate that active stewardship daily, even in small ways?
Yeah.
And what's powering all this? It seems like we have to come back to trust.
Exactly. You have to. Without trust, all this readiness could just curdle into anxiety, right? Vigilance becomes suspicion. Stewardship feels like a heavy burden.
Yeah.
But with trust, it becomes hopeful anticipation. Psalm 33 puts it beautifully. Our soul waits for the Lord, who is our help and our shield. See? Waiting, but actively relying on help.
May your kindness, O Lord, be upon us who have put our hope in you. Hope is key.
And another psalm says, blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. It's not just thinking nice thoughts. It's this deep orientation, this confidence that makes the vigilance possible without fear.
That contemporary reflection we looked at really nails it too. It says, Jesus calls us to live in readiness, trusting our Father who delights to give us his kingdom.
There it is again. Vigilance flowing from trust in a generous Father, not fear of a harsh judge.
And the reflection lists the results. Our lives should reflect watchfulness, generosity, and devotion to God's purposes. Those are the outward signs.
And the core idea, the main takeaway. True readiness is not about predicting the time, but about living faithfully every day.
It keeps coming back to that. Live faithfully now.
It's about a consistent way of life, integrated, flowing from what you truly believe is coming, which frees you up to be present and active now, even while looking ahead.
So wrapping up this deep dive, the main message seems pretty clear. Faith isn't passive, it's this active knowing of the unseen. And that knowledge inspires us to live alert, watchful, but also responsibly managing whatever we've been given.
Stewardship.
And crucially, this readiness isn't driven by anxiety about timing. It's fueled by deep trust and hope in the promises.
And let's not forget that really profound image from Luke, the prepared servants being served by the master. It suggests our readiness isn't just duty. It's about stepping into a relationship of trust that leads to blessings we might not even expect. It's an invitation to connection, not just a command.
That's a powerful thought to hold on to. The masters serving the servants. Wow. So as you go about your day, maybe carry this question with you, drawing from our sources. How can I be a faithful and watchful steward of what God has entrusted to me today?
Yeah, thinking about your specific gifts, your time, the opportunities right in front of you.
It seems these texts paint a picture of living with, open hands and an attentive heart. Always ready for the surprising ways the future might unfold, but grounded in the knowledge that trust ultimately finds its reward.